guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Bree if you are new here, and in today's video I'm going to be recreating a makeup look that I found on Pinterest. I did this a few months ago, I think in January. I had my husband pick a makeup look from Pinterest because that video was gonna go up right around his birthday, but you guys seem to really enjoy that video, so I picked one myself this month. I picked one that I thought would be really fun. I'm planning on, in theory, doing another one next month in honor of my mom's birthday and having her pick a makeup look. So we'll see how that goes. But in today's video, I am going to be recreating a makeup look from Pinterest. So this is the makeup look right here. You can see her Instagram down there at the bottom. And then just in case you were curious, there is a close-up of the eye look. So this is going to be a fun one, a little bit of a challenge. I do just want to point out that when I braided my hair this morning, I didn't realize that she also had braids. I swear I didn't plan that. I just really needed to wash my hair this morning. So if you guys want to hang out and see me recreate a makeup look from Pinterest, then just keep on watching. I went old school with my eyeshadow primer today. I've still been using the Say bronzer as eyeshadow primer like every day, but A, my lids were stained pink from my makeup look yesterday, and B, I need to actually use up that MAC primer before it, dries out. For today's makeup look, I'm going to use the Morphe Jaclyn Hill Volume 2 palette. This should cover all of my bases. I'm looking down at my phone right now, which I should honestly just put up here so that I can actually see it. But this should cover all of my bases. So I'm going to start out with a little teeny tiny little, I'm going to be honest with y'all, everything's come off of this. It's like a tiny shader brush. And I'm going to go into the shade Crazy and pick up just a little bit of that. And I'm going to start out kind of carving out this line up here. And I'm kind of following the shape of my eye socket, and I'm going to stop it right about where my iris begins. And I'm also taking it down to line up just about with my inner corner. This part right here is something that I do often, makeup look wise. It's the outer corner parts that I don't typically do when I do this style makeup. And then I'm going to take a very small pointed blending brush and I'm going to dip just the tip into Livin' My Best, and I'm going to use that to blend out the top of this, not the bottom, just the top. And then I'm just going to wipe this brush off, and using the same one, I'm going to do something very similar. I'm going to dip just the very tip into the shade My Man, and I'm going to use that to blend underneath. Okay, and then I'm going to jump over to my very outer corner before I kind of do that middle shade. So it is, as you can see, kind of like a pinky purple lighter tone. So these two are just a little bit too pink. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take mostly Lolly Mama, and then I'm going to mix in just a little bit of Stay True, just to kind of deepen it up just a little bit. And I'm just gonna kind of start by kind of stamping in a little bit of a shape. And then I'll just kind of fluff it. The hardest part about mixing shades together is making sure that you get the same mix on either side. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stay kind of rough with this just for a minute, just for a little minute. And then when I do my lids, I'll kind of use that light shade to clean all this up. Next up, I'm going to take a different, smaller, this one's a little bit more rounded shader brush, and I'm going to go into Therapy Sesh, and she has this up above the crease, kind of almost on the brow bone, blending these two colors together. Okay, next up, her lids are completely like skin tone matte shade. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take my brow bone setting powder, which is just a powder foundation that I've used too much of to be able to use on my face, and a fluffy, flattish shader brush. I'm just gonna pick this up and press this on the open space on my lids, and also kind of start working to blend out these edges. And then the other thing that I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a little bit more and go right up along the top, and this is just going to make sure that everything is just a really smooth application, and then I'll go back in with the brushes and kind of finesse a little bit. So as I'm kind of slowly going back in with the colors and just making sure everything is smooth, I'm avoiding picking up any product unless I absolutely have to. I mostly just want to use what's left on my brushes to kind of do the job for me. All right, and then when I'm going back to the outer corner, that like pinky purple, again, I'm starting out by not picking up any product. And then when I do pick up a little bit of product, I'm just gonna pick up that lighter pink. I'm not gonna pick up any of the darker purpley pink. I guess that would be magenta. I'm not loving the way that it's looking right out here, but she takes it out a lot farther. So I'm thinking what I'm gonna have to do is once my like base makeup's on, I'm gonna have to go back in with that pink and purple and just kind of whoosh, you know? So as you can see, her eyeshadow is basically done. She has the slightest bit of like a peach underneath the eyes, so we'll touch back with that in a bit. I'm gonna go do my base, put on quite the wing, because she has quite the wing on, and I will be right back. Zooming out just a little bit, you can see that she has bronzer on her forehead and on her nose, but that's it, which is great because that's exactly how I do mine. I'm gonna start out with my creams as usual, and just to keep it as clean as possible, I'm gonna start out with my nose actually, and I'm gonna use the Makeup Revolution Ultra Cream Bronzer in Light, and I'm gonna fold my velour puff, and I'm gonna start out with my nose. It looks a little harsh at the moment, but I'll clean it up with my sponge when I'm done. I'm gonna do my forehead. And then for cream blush, I'm gonna use the Anastasia Beverly Hills Cream Blush, or blush stick in Nectarine. A little peachy glow. And like I said when I was doing my eyeshadow, once I have everything set out here, I'll go back in with my eyeshadow and clean up that outer edge. Okay, and then for powder blush, I'm gonna use the BH Bellini blush palette, and I'm gonna start out with Georgia Peach and just set down my cheeks. So I'm kind of taking just a little bit of this blush and putting it right out here, and that's gonna kind of start to soften it, and then when I take that eyeshadow, it'll kind of all just mesh. And then for bronzer, I'm gonna use the ColourPop Pressed Powder Bronzer in Avila Beach. I totally said that I was gonna clean up my nose with my sponge, didn't I? And that didn't happen, did it? It's fine. I'll clean it up with powder foundation when I set my face. And then again, just to keep my nose really clean, I'm gonna use a blending brush to apply the powder bronzer. And I am going to take this into this space right here so that it all just kind of seamlessly works together. Okay, I'm going to go set down the rest of my face really quick. I will be right back. Okay, before I jump back in and finish up my eyes, I just want to finish up my base. As you can see, now this could very well be Facetune, Photoshop, editing in general, but her face is almost entirely matte. Almost entirely. She has a little bit of glow down the center of her nose, a little bit on her forehead. I have to put on just like a little bit of a blush topper, like I have to, but I'm not going to put on any highlight today. So I'm going to go in with the Be Perfect. Listen, I still don't know. Is it the Polar Vortex blush highlight in Atmosphere, or is it the Atmosphere blush highlight in Polar Vortex? I don't know. I don't know. all I know is I'm gonna put on a little bit of this. This isn't super glowy. I just need a little something on my cheeks. It's not gonna be super noticeable unless it catches the light just right. However, considering she does have highlight on her nose, I will be putting it on my nose as well. You can barely tell the difference. I just needed a little bit of just something. And then I'm gonna use the Butter Glow Physicians Formula Butter Glow powder. I'm just gonna put this down the center of my nose, because even the highlight on her nose isn't super crazy. Just a little bit on the center of the forehead, right between the brows mostly. And I'll just take whatever's left on my brush and kind of use that to blend my blush just a little bit. All right, I'm gonna dive back in and fix up and finish up my shadow. I'm gonna start out with just a little bit of Lolly Mama and just kind of following the line of my wing, just kind of drag this out. This pimple right here is painful. Ow, ow, ow. And then into Therapy Sesh to really blend out that pink. And then just kind of diving back into this inner corner work. I'm just applying a little bit more of Crazy. And I'll start out with Living My Best on the top. Sometimes this is just what you have to do when you're doing more color intensive looks, especially looks that go up significantly higher than you're used to. Sometimes you have to like start it and then do everything else and then go back and kind of just like reapply everything. Just honestly what I did was when I was setting my face, I took my setting powders and I went up along those top edges and out along the outer edges. And it really kind of lightened everything up quite a bit, but that also just made it so that it was easier to kind of re-intensify what needs to, while also just making sure that everything was really well blended. Now I'm going in with my Man, blending out those bottom edges, and she does take that orange shade down a bit as well. And then I'm just gonna wipe off this brush one more time. And I'm gonna go into the shade up here, Love Handles, and just kind of brush a little bit down here. Because again, she had that very soft amount of just like a little bit of extra peach underneath her eyes. Just like a little bit of definition, but it also kind of just like blends everything into the blush as well. Okay, last but very not least, I'm gonna take the brush that I used on my lids back into my setting brush, or my setting powder, and I'm just gonna kind of run this along the top edges. I don't want to use my big brow setting brush just because it is, like I just said, big. This I can be a lot more controlled with. So the rest of her under eyes is literally just black eyeliner. I'm gonna do that off of camera, as well as put on some lips. I'm not gonna go as drastic with the lips because that just doesn't work for me and my lip shape and my like skin tone and everything. So I'm gonna go finish up the rest of my face and I will be right back. Okay, so for my lips, I just tossed on some lip liner and then I used the Patrick Ta Major Dimension Lip Shine in She's Expensive, which I feel like worked really well with everything. Also, I feel like once I got the under eyeliner on and like finished up the liner and like got the lashes on, it really all came together. I was a little hesitant on it originally, but now that it's all on and together, I'm vibing with it. I like it. I don't hate it. Is it like my favorite makeup look I've ever done? No, but comment down below and let me know if you ever like recreate makeup looks from Pinterest. Is that where you get a lot of your inspiration, or do you just kind of like wing it? Let me know. Also, definitely link down below, like comment down below and send me links of like makeup looks you want me to recreate. I would love to do that. Please subscribe if you have not already. It would mean the world to me. Like this video, ring the bell, do all the things. I hope that you guys have an awesome day, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye!